Hey guys, obviously while you're on the road, you always have to find something to keep you going. Coffee isn't usually a huge choice of mine, but I do enjoy a good cup of coffee. Obviously, the big thing lately has been cold brew, so I figure I would give this a try. I know some people are kind of averse to the big company coffee, but then again, how many millions of people buy Starbucks every day? So we're gonna give it a try. Although at $3.49 for 11 ounces, it's probably gonna be breakfast and lunch, but let's give it a try. It is cocoa and honey with cream. Starbucks cold brew premium coffee. It's definitely very good. I'm not sure it's $3.49 worth though. So I guess in a pinch, if I want some premium cold brew coffee that I can get from a gas station, this would be it. But there you go. There's my take on Starbucks cold brew. It's actually pretty good for something out of a bottle in a gas station. So there you go. Try it for yourself. So before I even really get this video started, I'm going to apologize in advance for my lack of a stabilizer. I'm pretty much recording on an iPhone 6, and I guess I didn't fully take into account how much movement takes place when you walk trying to record. So my apologies. Enjoy the video. Hey YouTube, how's it going today? Just taking a little stroll out here in nature. Actually, I'm kind of checking out the frost damage from last night. We had a pretty hefty freeze up here. So not that I have any real plants I need to protect, but our oak trees were pretty sensitive time. So here we got one right here. And yeah, oh yeah, crispy. Definitely got pretty fried last night with the hard freeze. They'll recover, they're fine. But that's not why you're here. You're not here to hear about the trees around me. You're here to hear about my travels. Well, I did a little bit of looking on some projective routes that I could be running this summer. So I want to share those with you. Obviously the map isn't completely detailed to what I'm going to, the way I'm going to run it, but it'll give you a pretty good idea. So here, take a look. You can see what I had in mind. Go. As of May 10th, here is the projected route of where I will likely travel on my trip this summer. There are many things that can be changed and altered as I go. I never try to make a definite plan or route as far as what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it, but I really would like it to make it all the way out to St. John's in Newfoundland. That's a lofty goal. It just depends on how many things I find along the way and how the trip goes for the time. And then what I plan on doing, well, that will take me up through the Straits of Mackinac and the Straits of Sault Ste. Marie. Then I'll go down in towards Toronto and then up the coast through Montreal, Quebec City, and then all the way over to St. John's. As I come back, I'd like to explore more of Newfoundland, not exactly the same path back, although the map shows that, and then maybe into a little bit of Nova Scotia. In Maine, obviously I've never been to Maine or New Hampshire or Vermont or Massachusetts or New York. Not that there's a ton I want to explore, but obviously there are some cities I'd like to see. I know Maine has a ton of recreation as far as outdoor activities and camping and hiking. So that's another place I could stop if I end up with a little extra time on the way back, and then just cut back across through Canada and head back across that way. So here's a good map to study if you want to get a relative gauge about the areas I'm going to travel through. This is obviously subject to change, but this can give you a good idea of what I'm going to do and how far I want to go away. There's a lot of opportunity for change in this, and especially if there's places in Nova Scotia and on the island of Newfoundland that I really want to scope out. I probably spend a little extra time there. But feel free to ask me questions. Send me messages there on YouTube or on Facebook, post on Facebook. I'd love to hear from all of you guys on what kind of information you want from me, what you want to hear, and what you want to know about. I'm even open to suggestions as far as what I should see along that relative route. So definitely reach out, and I'll be in touch. I'll try to respond to all of your questions and responses. Thanks, guys. So now they've had a look at where I plan on going. I don't know, maybe I can show you what I did last year. I know I kind of ran through a brief summary of where I went in the last video, but you know, maybe I can just show you the route I took and maybe point out a few of the things that I saw. So now, forward to that though, you know, I figure I'd give you guys the opportunity. I do have a Facebook page now, like everybody else, almost everybody else in the world. I actually know several people that don't have Facebook pages, which they're probably smarter than I am. But for this channel, I do have a Facebook page, so you guys can check that out. There isn't much there now. So I will put that up on the screen here for you guys. So without keeping you any further, here is the layout I took, or the route I took last year when I went on a road trip. The first leg of our trip brought us near an NRA facility in Raton, New Mexico, Whittington Center. As we traveled further west, went through Cimarron Canyon State Park and by the Cimarron River, if I'm even saying that properly. Stopped and stayed for a night by the river. It's kind of fun having the water by us and just enjoying the scenery as we went through. Traveled further south to Santa Fe and saw the Loretto Chapel, which we'll get to here eventually. This is a big lake I don't remember the name of on our way there. It's pretty neat. Just forgot to write that part down. Sorry, guys. This is the Cimarron River again. Here's some tubers going down the river. Here's that chapel I was talking about. It's got a miraculous staircase, which I have a link in the description to describe that. As much as all of the other points of interest you'll see in this slideshow. Here's a campground, KOA campground in Cortez, Colorado. From there we headed southwest to the Four Corners Monument, which is a kind of neat monument. Mostly it's just vendor space though. A lot of Native American vendors there to sell us plenty of stuff. But it was neat to see all four corners, be able to stand in all four states at one time. Here's Wilson Arch, which is an arch that is 46 feet wide and 91 feet high. There's my friend Jesse. We're hanging out there in the desert near Moab. Here's where US 91 meets Interstate 70. Then we took I-70 northwest through Utah up to the Snake River. Snake River is what runs by Twin Falls, Idaho, which we spent a lot of time in Twin Falls, Idaho. To me, that's an amazing city and an amazing area. I would live there in a heartbeat if I could get away with it. Little bit logistic problem trying to get there, and standard of living is a little bit higher as residents of California start to run to Idaho. This is Shoshone Falls, multi-waterfalls in one spot. There's Jesse hanging out on the ledge there as we look through the gorge. That is, like I said, the Snake River that runs by Twin Falls. An amazing area. There's the Shoshone Falls from a different angle. As I said, a really neat place. Spent a lot of time there, a lot of hiking. Got a lot of shots from underneath the bridge, which you'll see here shortly. That's an old staircase that's blocked off just to go down into the ravine in that specific location. An open shot of some of the green space down in the ravine. That's actually a couple golf courses. That's a house I want. I can't imagine how much that costs, but it's beautiful. Beautiful scenery. Here's shots underneath the Perrine, I don't know if I'll pronounce that right, bridge. That's the bridge that goes from the highway across the ravine into the city of Twin Falls. So yeah, just a few more shots here. There is more shots of that wonderful bridge I was telling you about. There's a survey point from the Department of Transportation where they marked where the bridge had to go over. Looks like it's pretty old. That would be a pretty neat picture. So like I said, lots of time here, hiked right through that ravine from one end to the other underneath the bridge. Got lots of fun pictures, even more than what you see there. So from Twin Falls, we continue to head northwest into Boise, Idaho. There's the famous blue football field for Boise State University. And then we visited the old Idaho State Penitentiary there just outside of Boise. Lots of history there. I had hundreds of pictures I could have put on here, but I just put a few. That was actually the FEMA holding unit there. Big old style, the keys they used. This was the old kitchen area that got burned out in a riot. The no loafing area, which I think we thought kind of funny, but actually if you stood in the area you would get shot, so not a good place. Here's some of the holding cells. I said lots of history. Here's, I'm in the Boise River. Went through the Green Belt, which goes through the city of Boise. Pretty spectacular place, lots of trails, lots of green space, just lots of areas for people to be pedestrians and enjoy the river. So I really enjoyed that and hiking it through. It was one of the highlights of the trip for me, is just walking through the city for several hours, just enjoying all the things they had. I wish I had a bicycle at that point, but a really good time. This is a salmon river along US 95 in North Idaho. Here was a lookout point that we went. The fog was clearing as we got to it, so it was kind of neat. Here's a campsite, Hayburn State Park in northern Idaho, about an hour south of Coeur d'Alene. That was really neat. Sorry about the sideways picture there, my fault. But really nice, peaceful place to relax and chill for a night. Had a nice fire, had some good food. That was a good experience there as well. Then we took the scenic route around Coeur d'Alene just to get the full specter. From Coeur d'Alene we went southwest, southeast, saw a baseball game between those two teams there. That was fun. Then from there we traveled all the way back towards Colorado, stopped at Fort Collins, and saw and got a tour of the New Belgium brewery. So yeah, that was a good trip. I really enjoyed that one. Well, that's really all I got for you today. Unless you want to spend more time with me walking through the woods and just relaxing. So, trip's coming up here, not too long from now. Probably got a couple months. As with any other YouTube channel, I would certainly appreciate the likes on this video, and if you enjoyed what you watched and you're not already, please subscribe. Have a great night, everybody.